Good early afternoon, 12:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Thursday, November 7th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So now that we've seen a little bit of things unsettle here, the dust unsettle, we've seen where XRP dropped to after the swing high of 57, right around 57.85, we'll call it 57.9. I think the better way to look at this, though, if we're being honest, is to look at not only the breakout, but the fact that that's where we came up to that rising channel. That's where if you extended it out, the channel in due time would have come there. We created a short-term cup here that it looks like that we at least came up and filled this out. And now there is a chance at continuation here. Earlier, I was a little bearish because I knew we put in this. We talked about coming down in the 2-hourly to the 20-day to see how we would react. And that's why this morning in the update, I was bearish because we had that exhaustion wick, as I would call it. We were somewhere around 54.8 this morning, or 55, somewhere in that area. And we talked about in this morning's update coming down to the 20-day and see how we would react. We came down to roughly 50, what was the bottom here? 54 cent area. We came right down to about 54 cents. So we did come back down. We tested the 200-day beautifully. I mean, the 20-day support structure perfectly. And after a golden cross, you're going to need to retest it as you're going up. This is our first real test here at 53.96. So 53.96 now is that swing support. And now that we've bounced out, we would like to see continuation up. And throughout the rest of the trading day, we would like to see that continuation. And whether we come back up to 57, retest 57.90, or it takes us in a slightly different direction and we come up to that 58.86 mark. Here, let's put this in real time. 59.5 cents. And this is the overall pattern formation. It looks like we could have built a W reversal. But if we are continuing, we would want to bounce off of this the 20-day like we have, and then start moving up aggressively here as the day goes on. And the 30-minute, we've now started to bounce off of here on the 20-day support. And that's what we would like to see. Got a W reversal here. And we want to start to build out of these positions. We've got plenty of room in the 30-day with the relative strength index cleared out perfectly. And generally, with these shorter moving averages, when you actually have a run going, oftentimes you'll build back up to the neutral areas and then you'll break back bullish. And that's what we're trying to do right now. And it's actually an interesting spot here for XRP. Me personally, I am riding this again. If anybody's part of the copy trading, I talk sparingly about it. But this is one again. If you're doing it, you could lose money. But I'm riding the setup. And if it breaks that, it's right around 53.9, 54 cents. I know it would invalidate this structure. I'm trying to play a retest back up. But more particularly, if I'm looking at it just from a standpoint of technical levels, I'm looking at this level up here. This is the cup and handle resistance. 53.9 is where we have that. Here, let me change the color so you don't think it's part of the formation. This is just part of the evidence we have in front of us right now, because that's where we came down to the swing drop now after the swing high. We'll put it like that. So right now, actually, no, we're going to put it in a more danger color. That's certainly not danger. So if it falls below that, that's like the danger zone. If we fall below 53.96, nope, so you can't say that because you'd have to give it the credibility right here. And some would say down here, but if you come all the way down there, you're really not going to. So this was the first consolidation zone at 53.72. I'm looking at it right here. This is the exhaustion zone. You really shouldn't even come back that low. You should stay somewhere around 54.30. So that's where you're looking at that. You want that to be your new support. And then bounce back out and see if you're ready to come up to 57 cents this time and see if we can make a name. But we did dump out. We satisfied what set up as a small bear flag, as we talked about this morning. That dropped down to 53.90 area. It satisfied that drop, so that's good. And now we can start to possibly work on a positioning here. We can start to work on the position back up and see if this will come back up. I was a bit surprised earlier. I was a bit perplexed with Bitcoin. The fact that it didn't exhaust the higher, because to me, it held 73,697. It should have come up to 78,609 just on its own technical analysis. The fact that it had this megaphone pattern on the handle after the cup was formed on Bitcoin. We have this megaphone pattern in consolidation. We back tested it perfectly, broke over the first level, which was all-time highs at 73,697. The short part of the megaphone on the early consolidation suggests we should be coming up to 78,609. And then the wider part of the megaphone in full is 86,000. The reason why I was perplexed earlier, and I said I feel like even though there's a lot of liquidation to come back down, there's 1.23 billion roughly at 64,650 area. The reason I was perplexed is because we didn't come up all the way and pick up I find it hard to believe we're not going to come up here and pick up this. Look at this. 315 million at 77,150. You've got 412 million at 76,950. I find it hard to believe that we're going to leave over $1 billion in liquidations here just by coming up to 70. Look, if we just come up to 77,700, we will clear out, let's see, 3, 6, 9, about $1.6 billion in liquidity of liquidations here that have been formed mostly by short traders here now. If we take a look at this in the past 12 hours, which is absolutely prevalent, we can see just in the shorter time frame, look at all this liquidity up here. Even in a 12-hour period, you've got 100 million, 123 million, 120 million. So let's look at the weekly. I find it hard to believe that Bitcoin and the way that this mob mentality is with the manipulators, that they're not going to come up here and grab this liquidity. 76,900 as 325 million or 329 million, 252 at 77,200. Look at 285 million at 77,450. It seems like to me it's in their best interest to come up to 77,700 area. It really is. You clear out all of that liquidity. There's so much of it there. I can't see them passing up on several $1 billion of liquidity just above us. Not to mention Bitcoin looks like it formed an early bull flag there with a W reversal. So I would be shocked if they don't come up there before they ultimately go down to where I expect them to at some point. And that's why I was a little saddened that it came up first. Because now we might clear out all the way to 78 and then ultimately 89 and then just go right back down to 65 before the eventual push up to 115 if it's meant to happen based on what we're doing. Hold on, we got to wait for this to set. Because we do know in time, we're going to come down here. It's a matter of fact. We're going to have to come down here at some time and clear that 1.2 billion in liquidation on Bitcoin. But like I said, there's a lot of liquidation just above us still. Just above us that it didn't clear, and it looks so small in comparison now to the below. But look at that, 76,800, 338 million. You can see it on the monthly as well. There's so much liquidation up there. And as far as that candle today, I mean, that doesn't look bad because it's all the way at the top. There was no clear retracement. It came down a little bit, but then it ate itself back up. So now let's look at the XRP long and short before I leave. Because this is getting very interesting, and we're in extreme greed with the crypto fear and greed index last I checked. So this is where you'd get that last bit, I mean, this is where you get the pylon, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, especially if you're already in a position, but if you're trying to open a position for the first time, it could be interesting. So yeah, we're still in extreme greed. Ripple right now, 5 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, 2.39 to 1 long to short ratio, tightening up just a bit, 70.51% long, 29.49% short. In the 4 hourly, we have 2.4 to 1, 70.59% to 29.41% short. And then the daily is the same as the rest of the 530 and the hourly. It's 2.39 to 1, long to short ratio, 70.48% long, 29.52% short. That's a very bullish candle there today, though. That is a very bullish doji candle we have today. And the 1 hourly on this most recent candle. That's a beautiful candle. So we're going to see how much upward momentum we get here, because this is where we would make that run back up after the exhaustion wick this morning. We came down. Remember, now we have to retest if that is bearish or not. So it might not come all the way up to 57.8, but there's certainly going to be levels above that. In my opinion, we very much should test. As you can see, liquidations the last 24 hours been pretty split here. 3.1 million in liquidations, and this is exactly what you want to see. For going long, You want to see some of the long liquidated in the last 24 hours because there were so many overzealous longs. And if you're getting enough short liquidations and mixed in there with it, and the longs are appropriately being liquidated along the way, and that's how you do it. A drop from 57.8 all the way down to 53.9. Most of those longs are gone. Even if they're at 10x, they're out. They're history. You know, they might not have got liquidated, but I don't know anybody who wants to sit through a 60, 70% drop. And now you can see we had 1.1 million in long liquidations last 24 hours and 1.9 million in short liquidation. So we're tightening up. So it is actually showing that we could have a continuation here, at least back up to where we came from. Funding rates are positive. Open interest, we still have plenty of open interest. 24-hour change plus 5.52% overall. That's what we want to see. And leading the way is Bybit with 292 million, and then Binance just behind it at 222 million. So there's a lot of evidence there to suggest that we should probably be going up from here, at least retesting these upper boundaries. So I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you appreciate my work, please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube will recommend this update. It'll pop up in the YouTube news feeds, and it'll end up being part of the algorithm. And whether someone's seen my content or not, they will be able to enjoy this beautiful community. I do this from a standpoint of positivity over negativity because I'm simply, I can no longer stand all the hate in the world, so I transform to what I do. We are not victims here. We never have been. We never will be in this community. We are the winners. So being the winners, we have to have all the news from a charting and news perspective to make an educated and informed decision on our own portfolios. And we must be kind to each other. Kindness, helpfulness over hurtfulness. The light always outshines the dark, but remember, you need the dark to show just how beautiful the light is, and the only way to extinguish the dark is through the light, through love. You get rid of the hate through the love and unity over the divisiveness. If you want to join me in our journey a little bit deeper, and you're looking for an exchange to use, make sure you go in the video description below and our pinned comments of this very video, or I make it very easy for everybody. All you have to do is go to my homepage. You click on here, click on where it says BITUNIX, and there's links for you to click on. Very simplistic. You join them, and on BITUNIX, if you join, you put the money on the on your futures account. You can, or just have the money on the exchange. You can join me via copy trading. We have 9 people copy trading. We're in a current trade. I think it opened at 55 cents roughly. It's a 10x trade, $130. I don't do anything major. And for the record, I have $4,200 on BITUNIX. I think like 3% of my account only is in the leverage side. I have like $230 after the $223 after the 21% move we had yesterday in the upward direction. So that's it. So if you want to join me there, you can. BITUNIX, if you're a leverage trader, use it. Forget the rest. Use the BITUNIX. It's the cheapest, lowest spot and leverage trading fees I've found in the USA, but it's worldwide. No KYC or VPN. Join it. Don't get left behind, and don't pay the exorbitant fees of some of the other exchanges. HOTCOIN has VELO and a couple others that I prefer, so I'll be using it for that. But just tread cautiously because the leverage trading is a little more expensive. You'll find a lot more than BITUNIX. And then if you want to send me a donation, you can always do Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. And or you can join Tom's Army and join these other that are going across. There's many more than just this, but these are some, including me, that starts the list. But you can see a myriad of ones that are going across. They're all part of Tom's Army in some fashion. I see Mr. Carter over here in the middle. I see a few others here that I recognize. I see Devin, and I see a bunch of beautiful people in here. So join the army. Show the support. Get the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens in month 1, all the way to the 3-year emoji badge of the XRP Diamond Hands badge. Have a blessed afternoon, everybody. Positivity over negativity. And remember, don't forget to give thanks to your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ on this beautiful Thursday early afternoon in the great state of Michigan.